Hey guys, in this video I was going to show you my Legacy of Nightmares Crusader Bombardment setup for GRs, the Greater Rift Days. I'll just talk about my gear real quick and what you want. So, shoulders, doesn't really matter what you're using as long as they're ancient. You're going to want CDR, bombardment damage, area damage, and thorns as your rolls. So on this I'm missing the area damage. You could also use Vit or all resist. That last roll isn't that important, but you want to make sure you're using all useful rolls. Leoric's Crown for the Helm, absolutely. You're going to want basically exactly what I have, except with a higher legendary bonus. So Strength, Vit, all res, Thorns, Hellfire. This one's going to be a little tricky. You're going to want a useful passive. I'll go over that in a little bit. And then you're going to want physical damage, strength, CDR, area damage, thorns, all useful. So as you can see, this character is pretty difficult to gear compared to every other class because you're always looking for thorns. On the chest, you're going to want Heart of Iron or Curious. You're going to want Strength, Vit, Bombardment, Thorns. All resist is alright instead of the Vit, but you're going to want that Bombardment for sure, and that Thorns. You're going to want St. Archu's Gaze. I don't think there's anything else you would use. The bubble is actually very useful. Mine are really bad here, but you're going to want CDR, area damage, Thorns, Strength, Vit, all good. Belt of the Trove, nothing else. You're going to want to try and get a 6-second roll, 6 to 8. Since pretty much all your damage is going to be bombardment, 6 seconds is important. Again, same thing. You're going to want your thorns damage, and then your strength bit. All res life have pretty much a perfect roll here, except the values aren't maxed out. Nemesis bracers for sure. I don't think there's anything else you're going to use. Getting the extra elite peck out of pylons in the GR is really important. These are pretty bad. You don't want the crit. I would want like all resist and then thorns instead of that roll, but everything else is right. Fizz damage, strength fit, wailing host, litany. On your rings you're going to want something like thorns and then area damage, CDR, strength. Vit's okay, all resist is okay, because you are pretty squishy. You'll see. I'll show you a GRage in a minute. Hexing Pants, for sure. The damage bonus does affect your bombardment, but you have to keep moving, obviously. You're gonna want your double socket, your strength, Vit, and then all resist thorns. One are okay, but missing that thorns. Weapon, I'm not sure what people will end up using. Doombringer seems fine for now. There's also things like Swift Mount, Pig Sticker. There's a couple things you can use. Basically, you're kind of looking for a 5 property weapon where you're making use out of all the rolls. So in this case, Doombringer, you want to roll the damage off. It doesn't help you that much. Fizz damage, strength, Vit, CDR, area. That's basically the exact rolls you want. Boots, you have a few choices. You use Ice Climbers, Illusory Boots, or like Firewalkers or something. I think Illusory or Ice Climbers might be best, because I don't have maximum uptime on the Steed Charge, because I'm not using a Swift Mount. I use Illusory Boots. Basically the exact rolls you want. Movement speed, you could probably trade out for Life Regen or Armor. That roll's not that important. It's going to make hardly any difference, but you do want the strength of it, all res, obviously, then the thorns. Shield, I'm not sure what shield will be best, because there's quite a bit of things you could try out that I haven't had the chance to yet. I'm just using a leadless because it gets the extra physical 20. And then strength fit, CDR. You are going to want the CDR roll, and then I'm missing the thorns here, kind of a big deal, but it's what I have. Other shields you could use, like both of the bounty bags are probably good, because you could use the Hold Your Ground passive. One thing to note with the non-Crusader shields is that you can't roll area damage or bombardment damage, so for the offense offensive stats, area damage, and bombardment is going to be a lot more damage than a physical roll. So maybe something like bombardment, area damage, CDR strength. With Thorn's roll would be your shield, and then whatever good shield you can get that on. Mostly you're looking for the rolls over the shield base. But I mean, if you get on, like, say, the Act 2 Bounty Bag shield, that would be sick, since it reduces the damage you take by quite a bit. I'd like to try that out, but I just don't have the patience right now to farm the Act 2 bounties. So gearing's pretty, gonna take you quite some time, probably. I've been playing a fair bit, and everything I have needs replaced still, so. Your skills, what I've been using right now is Divine Verdict. You can also use Consecration at the lower levels, like Bed of Nails, does a decent amount of damage. But I'm using Shield Glare Divine Verdict just to boost up my bombardment damage, since, as I've said, bombardment's pretty much where all your damage is coming from. Barrel spikes, I think mine hit for like something 100 billion per barrel, and then because I use Mortal Drama in the cube, that's over 1 trillion damage basically per self-cast on it. It's decharged Spike Barding. You probably don't have to use Spike Barding, but I've been using it this whole time just to, sometimes I might see a mob with 1 or 2 HP, 1 or 2% HP left, and I just charge on top of them, spin around. You can use like Rejuve, doesn't help that much, or like the Drawing Quarter or even Endurance. There's some flexibility there for sure. I didn't see anybody using a movable object, but that's what I've been using. I really like the Empower for Laws of Justice. You could use Decaying Strength, that's what I see most people using, but my argument against this is usually you don't want to get hit in the first place. So mitigating, the chunky hits the best you can is seems to be better, like on a boss, or on a boss you're probably not going to get hit more than once every 5 seconds. You don't want that. You're doing something wrong more than likely. So I just use the max mitigation. Empowering the rune is really is really good because you get the extra resistances, and then on top of that you're getting the extra armor with this. So this is my preferred right now. It might change, but I noticed a huge difference using this combo versus this combo. And I've paired it with Long Armor with the Law, which is almost 100% uptime. They give me like 67, a little over 67 CDR with some lag, which I do have for the 100% uptime, but I'm running like 61 CDR, which is really important. I'll go over that in a second. Let me finish going over these skills. Reflective Skin, Iron Skin, there's no choice. This is where you control most of your damage. You need to pop this before bombarding, as it has a snapshotting mechanic. Accurate Champion Prophet, and then this is a lot of survivability, no reason to use anything else. Passives you have to use: Iron Maiden, Lord and Commander. Everything else is pretty flexible. I would say Indestructible, Finery, pretty high priority, and then your last one can be Fervor for the CDR. I'm not using it because I have 61 without. You could use Fervor, you could use Hold Your Ground, like I said, if you're using the Act 2 shield. Long Arm of the Law. What else? Vigilant. They're all useful passives. But my current setup is I have Indestructible here, and then Long Arm of the Law, Finery, and like I said, Iron Maiden, Lord and Commander. You're not going to switch those. One thing I kind of forgot to mention over, you don't need as much CDR as you possibly can get. Like I don't have Fervor. You just need to hit about 61, 62 CDR. It's okay to go like 63, 64, even higher than that, but 61 at least. Don't go any lower than that, because you are wanting to line up your Convention of Elements on physical with every single self-cast of Bombardment. So I'll do a GR. Alright, let me show you cube real quick, then I'll do a GR. So in the cube, Mortal Drama, Nuclear Curious, or Heart of Iron, whichever one you're not using in that convention. I don't think any of this is going to change. They're all very, very important. So the thing about playing this build is you are hurting up mobs, and then you are blasting them with a snapshotted Bombardment on Iron Skin, and then you try to amp the damage. You can amp the damage with Accurate Champion and Divine Verdict. Shield Glare. And you can do a tiny bit of damage with the steep charge. It's a week into the season. I've cleared 84 with this. If I played a little bit more, I'd probably do 85, maybe an 86. So I think this might even be like GR 100 with really well optimized gear and a shitload of Paragon levels. This build is really strong and I actually enjoy it quite a bit. A lot of people say it's pretty boring, but the playstyle is so different than your standard. It's actually kind of refreshing. It is not as boring as I would say it looks. You would probably just have to try it and you would see, oh, you're actually active 100% of the time. You might not be auto-attacking 100% of the time, but you're always doing something. You're making a lot of little decisions. Just do like a 80 maybe. So I'm at least taking a significant amount of damage. So like I said, convention of elements, I can't control this. And I need to line this up with bombardment every single time. So basically in the time I'm not in physical, I'm hurting mobs and trying to stay alive. Other than that, it's cooldown management, you know, keeping this up because I don't have 100% uptime, keeping this up, not 100% uptime, and then blinding mobs to prevent me from taking damage. So essentially I'm surviving until this comes up physical every single time. So I'll just run around. Elite packs are generally pretty good. So right there. A little late on my bombardment, but that's okay. The first one. I'm just trying to stay alive. Gem choices. I guess I kind of forgot to go over that a little bit. You are going to want to use strength gems. They're going to give you a lot more damage than the Vit gems, than the amethyst. And then your legendary gems, Bane of the Trapped and Thorn's gem. You're not going to use anything else. That third gem is pretty flexible. You could use anything. Stricken, you kill bosses pretty quickly, so maybe not Stricken for a lot of people. Esoteric for survivability. I'm using Bane of the Powerful myself. So as you can see, most of the time I'm just like kind of running around waiting on that physical. It's coming soon. And then I'm going to target my bombardment on the elite. Unfortunately, most of it's going to probably hit white mobs. You have to keep that in mind. So when mobs are clumped up, you're going to do a lot more damage, and you can't really control that too well without sacrificing your survivability. You might die here. Like, I am pretty squishy, you'll see. So it's a lot of understanding when you're going to take damage and how to survive. And then at the same time managing your bombardment. So I'll probably be a little focused here because this actually does take a little bit of brain juice, but if I see anything worth mentioning I will. Other than that, I'm just going to clear the rift. You can kind of watch how I play. Long as I cast my bombardment while the Iron Skin buff is still up, it will get the full damage. So I don't have to, you know, do it at the last second. And you cannot do it during the bombardment, you have to do it before. You gain a lot of progression, you'll see, from any damage pylon, because you get the free elite pack, and you have the benefit of the pylon. It's really nice when you have, let's say, an elite pack already, and you find like a conduit or a power or a channeling. You're going to gain a lot of time. You're going to annihilate that pack, those two packs, or even, you know, as many as 3 or 4. And everything else. So pylons, there's a lot of fishing with getting some pylons. So I have one here and I have this elite peck, so I'll be able to blast pretty well. I'll show you. And I just want to spam pretty much all my shit. I'm not too worried about my survivability because my Akarat's champion uptime and its cheap death is going to be very high. So I feel pretty comfortable just running through stuff. You can see I gained a shit ton of time. So a lot of the RNG from the fishing perspective is going to be in getting pylons. Another nice thing is because you have so many multipliers in this setup, when you get something like a power pylon, your damage is retarded. You can, might even end up saving them for the Rift Guardian. Might be worth it. I think on 75s, 75, 76, I can actually one-shot the Rift Guardian with one Bombardment cast. It's pretty silly. But one thing I like is about this setup is it's pretty consistent. I actually haven't failed a GR that I was farming EXP on. So like doing, let's say, 75s or probably even 80s. I don't think I could fail an 80 if I was just like farming 80s for EXP. So this is pretty nice for the solo play, which I've been doing this entire season. It does feel pretty comfortable, even with a really bad rift. The times are really pretty consistent. Because you can just hunt, mostly because I believe you can just hunt the elite packs and gain time that way. I don't have very much area damage on my character, which is something that will change in the future. It's just hard to gear for. But I do think area damage is really important in this character. You're gonna want as much as you can get. It probably makes a difference of like somewhere between like 5 to 10 GR levels. I don't know exactly how many, but if I had, the optimal area damage setup, I would do significantly better. I think you can say 80 is fairly comfortable for me. If you're having issues with like survivability, it might be more your play style than anything else. You just have to know like what does damage to you. Just get used to it, play it over and over again. Because I was, I wasn't that comfortable for a few days of playing this. It took me a little while to get used to it because it is a different play style for sure than other classes, previous characters. Just one thing that I kind of appreciate about this character specifically, just a lot of the knowledge game and just cooldown management. Because I've really gotten, I don't know, I just have some issue with the 100% like cooldown uptime setups, and this really isn't one of them. I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't died yet, but maybe here. Sometimes illusionary bug, boots bug out. But most of the time they're pretty reliable. Don't really want to go back in there yet until my profits back up. It's like a really high chance to die going in there without. I want that blue mob. This ring is nice. You can stand in it sometimes. Sometimes it does line up with your bombardment. And it is pretty noticeable, the damage increase. Oh, no, I did get it good. A mob type like this is really bad. There is some fishing with like not having super aggressive range mobs. Actually pretty bad pylon luck. That's my second one, isn't it? I think. So like a 4 pylon map is always going to be quite a bit better. It's a pretty big deal. Shielding's still decent. I think speed's probably the worst. Power, conduit, channeling are all pretty useful. Shielding's okay-ish, so you can just stand here on this silly peck and not worry about your survivability. Should do that one more. Maybe. No. Kind of waste of a bombard. Try to make a little bit of use of it. A couple whites. Max on the boss anyway. This is a terrible boss, mostly because of how hard he hits, but he shouldn't be too big of an issue on the 80. But this is not a good boss. Most bosses aren't too bad. I think without area damage you want to avoid the any ad boss. They're pretty bad because your bombardments are going to be all spread out, so like Sextris and Hamelin, without area damage, they're definitely bad. Single target bosses that don't have much movement are pretty good, like Perdition. It's probably one of the better ones. Don't kill me. Let's see if I can stay alive here. I just didn't want to die. I could have killed him in that one too. It's okay. As you can see, boss dies pretty quickly, even on 80. That's why I'm not using Bane of the Stricken. I'm just using Powerful for the damage boost. That's about it. I don't think I missed anything too important. That is pretty much the basic for this character. Thanks for watching. I'll probably do some more blasting on this character, and if anything changes significantly, maybe I'll talk about that some more as well. That's pretty much it.